invite you to come with me for just a moment. I'm going to go on a little journey. So I invite you to close your eyes. And imagine a long time ago, a very long time ago, before you were in physical form, when you were pure essence, no form, no personality, no name, no gender, no race, no identity of your own. You were just one in the essence and the allness of God. Get an image in your mind's eye of what that might look like, feel like. Swirling colors, maybe a bright white light, pulsating energy, an all-pervading and all-encompassing sense of love, peace, and calm. Yeah. Now imagine that essence and the allness of the divine so fully desires to know and experience more of his own divine self from within its creative nature, a soul being described as you is created and sent on a mission to earth at that moment. You come forth from the source of all creation. Also at that moment, you clearly and unequivocally understand your mission because you hear God say, "Go to the earth, my beloved, and be an individualized expression of me. Go to the earth and be my love, my peace, my creativity. Be my givingness, my joy, my eyes. Be my ears and my hands." You are ready and excited to come to this earthly expression and be all of this. You are ready and excited to be an individualized expression of God itself, feeling that original excitement and enthusiasm just for one moment. Be with it. Bask in it. Just relax in it. But just as you are ready to burst forth into this human experience, you hear God say, "Oh, by the way, you won't remember any of this by the time you get here." And now you sit here this morning. Here you are, your true essence, the soul being that you are, surrounded by this garment of flesh and bone, enveloped in quite a bundle of beliefs, labels, misinformation, experiences, and erroneous impressions. You can come back with me and open your eyes now. Take a deep breath. That meditation is from Dennis Merritt Jones' book, The Art of Being. I recently heard a story. In fact, I've told this before, and I love it so much. I'm going to tell it again. It's about a couple who had a 4-year-old and an infant. The 4-year-old wanted time with the baby alone. In fact, he was quite insistent, and he kept pushing and pushing his parents to let him have his alone time with the baby. They were, of course, quite hesitant over this. They were concerned leaving a newborn with a 4-year-old, but eventually decided to turn on the baby monitor so that they could hear what was going on in that room that the 4-year-old was going to be alone in. And from what the parents could tell from the baby monitor, it sounded like Big Brother got very close to the baby's ear, and through the slats on the crib, and he whispered, "Tell me, baby, what is God like? I'm starting to forget." I get God bumps every time I tell that story. We have a chance to remember. In fact, we are here to consciously remember who we have come here to be. That's what this whole month has been about. That is what the art of being on purpose is really and truly about. In his Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes tells us, the eternal has placed itself at the center of our being in order that we may function individually. The discovery of this, the greatest truth about humankind, is the greatest discovery of all. It truly is. The fact that we can know that there is a power within us that is only good, pure goodness, pure harmony. That's the truth of who we are. That's who we were before we came here, and it's who we will be when we leave here. And that good is pure light, and it's always with us. It's always with us. It can't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. It's always with us. So I offer you a challenge this morning, and it could be the morning that you take everything that you have heard so far this whole month and awaken from the illusion of your separateness from God. That's the biggest and only greatest obstacle there is. And most people are in that duality. We think, oh no, they're not. People are starting to wake up. No, they're not. They're not, because if you go tell this to someone on the street, they're going to think that you're crazy. They're going to think, I am God. You are God, you blasphemous person, you. But you are. You are the essence of all that creative energy. That's who you are. And that is such a blessing to hold in our consciousness. I'm going to hold that. I don't know if it's true or not, but it feels right to me, and I'm going to stick with it. Because why not live the best life we can live? Be as kind as we can be, as respectful as we can be while we are here in this form. So, anyway, when you walk out of here this morning, I would like us to, all of us, to remember the truth of our being. Having rediscovered our inherent truth and begin to live from a fully open and receptive state of being, where we can take on new and exciting challenges and experiences no matter what. Because life is going to throw stuff at us anyway. So we might as well find the good in it. And there's always good in everything. And what does it mean to live from a place of being? It's really just another way of saying that we see God's presence made manifest through and is in each and every one of us, all around, in all ways, regardless of conditions and circumstances, regardless of, and there's always going to be conditions and circumstances since the beginning of mankind. It's not new. It's always going to be there. But we, through our spirituality and our philosophy, get to choose how we're going to respond to that, how we're going to embrace our lives. The great teacher, Jesus, told us how to live from a place of beingness when he said, "Judge not according to appearances, but judge you by righteous judgment." And righteous judgment is just seeing God in all places, in all people, in everything. And this God is that pure creative consciousness, that loving essence, just seeing it wherever we are. A wise Eastern sage, one of the first spiritual books I ever read, I didn't know what it was in the 80s, Krishnamurti, maybe you heard of him, once said, "This is my secret. I don't mind what happens." Can you imagine living like that? I don't mind what happens. Said me, never. But, I mean, that's something we can aspire to. You know? Whatever happens, happens. I don't mind. So, Krishnamurti is one who had mastered the art of being. And that could be each and every one of us this morning. Because the thing about the human journey we are on is this: as long as we are on it, we will experience a continuum of peaks and valleys, plateaus, ups and downs. And that goes on and on until the day we leave this planet. But I have something very interesting here. There was an interview done a few years ago by a minister of a mega church. It was a Christian church. His name was Rick Warren. And he wrote a book entitled A Purpose-Driven Life. You might have heard of it. Sold over 15, probably 20 million copies. A Purpose-Driven Life. And he said in an interview, and I don't agree with everything he says because, he's still in duality, but he says something that's very interesting to look at when we think of peaks and valleys. This too shall pass. Well, he shared on the interview the previous year that one of the greatest and one of the most difficult years of his life had just happened. His book sold 15 million or more copies, bringing him notoriety, wealth, like he had never known. And at the same time, his wife had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. He said that he used to think of life as hills and valleys. That you go through the rough times, then you go to the mountaintop and back and forth through life. But that he doesn't believe that anymore. Instead, he believes that we experience both the mountaintop and the valleys simultaneously. So rather than hills and valleys, he believes it's more like two rails on a railroad track, side by side, happening at the same time. And in fact, any given experience can be both a mountaintop and a valley experience at the same time. His wife's cancer would certainly be considered a valley from one perspective. Yet he said, and I quote what he says, We discovered quickly that Kate's journey through cancer was not going to be easy for her. In fact, it had been very difficult for her. And yet the experience had strengthened her character, given her a ministry of helping other people, given her a testimony, and drawn her closer to God and to all others. And his book, which sold over 15 million copies, would certainly seem like a mountaintop, but he said this about it. All of a sudden, when this book sold 15 million copies, it made me instantly very wealthy. And it also brought a lot of notoriety that I had never had to deal with before. This was very difficult, and I didn't know what to do. So I began to ask God what he wanted me to do with this money, notoriety, and influence. And Warren was divinely guided to do some pretty marvelous things, such as he stopped taking a salary from his church. He set up foundations to fund initiatives, called for a peace plan, to plant churches, equip leaders, assist the poor, care for the sick, and educate the next generation. And he then added up all the money that he had received as salary in the last 24 years, and then he gave it back. He said, no matter how good things are in your life, there is something that needs to be worked on. And no matter how challenging things are in your life, there is always something to thank God for. You can focus on your purpose, or you can focus on your problems. If you focus on your problems, you only increase the pain of the problem. But one of the easiest ways to get rid of pain is to get your focus off yourself and onto God's purpose for your life. I know in the 12-step program, they encourage everyone to give. You learn to take care of yourself and then give it away. It's in that giving that you are receiving the greatest gift of all. So I want us to spend a few moments helping get our focus on the divine purpose for your life. The purpose you came into this life to experience. And if I've been saying it over, we each have a definite purpose that we came here to fulfill. And we need to identify that so we can fulfill it. So let's go back to the original source of creation that we visited at the beginning of the talk, right? So again, close your eyes and remember, a very long time ago, before you were in physical form, when you were pure essence, no form, personality, no name, gender, or race, no identity of your own. You were just one in the essence and in the allness of God. Remember what it felt like. Swirling colors, brilliant, bright light, pulsating energy, all of this. An all-pervading, all-encompassing sense of love, peace, and calm. Breathe that in. Remember, God wishes to you. Go to the earth, my beloved, and be an individualized expression of me. Go to the earth and be my love, my peace, my creativity, my givingness. Be my joy, my eyes, my ears, and my hands. But now you are listening again. Listen intently, perhaps for the first time. You hear something else, something very special, something just for you. You hear your specific purpose, the specific quality of God that you are meant to bring here to earth. Again, take another breath, just breathe that in. Come up with one quality, just one quality, that's all you need, and then focus on that for the rest of your life. So, because listening closely, because right now, God is whispering in your ear. Hear it, feel it, and now spend a few moments in the silence reflecting on what your life looks like when you came to this place of beingness. I'm just going to go into a spiritual mind treatment. Now, in that beautiful breath, let's just all take a collective breath together as we move into this openness, where there are no boundaries, there's no time, space. There only is energy, consciousness, brilliance, and harmony. Everything flowing so perfectly. And this perfect creator that has created all that is, all that was, and all that ever could be, has created each and every one of us. Created us out of the good that this divine creator truly is. And so I am knowing and claiming that we go forth in our life and on our journey, and we just relax into the knowing that we are being cared for, we are being loved, we are being guided in every moment if we but listen, if we go within and connect with the allness that is there within us. And this power supports everything that we choose to do. This power guides us through this journey of life. This power loves us unconditionally. And so I know that each and every one here, if they choose, has connected with an incredible quality. And those qualities are not just qualities. Love is the glue that holds everything together. Connect with that. Connect with peace. Connect with the loving essence that is the truth of who each and every one is. How can I not be grateful? Deep gratitude for this spiritual teaching. Great gratitude for walking this journey knowing I can never be alone. I am always guided, I am always supported, I am always loved. That is truth spoken. And so we move into that knowingness. And we give thanks for it. We give thanks for the gift of consciousness that is ours. That is ours. And we are part of the infinite allness of all that is. And knowing that to be truth, I release this word. I release it into the fullness and the intelligence of universal mind. And knowing that this word is made manifest, I say thank you, and so it is.
And so it is.
Stay in that.